What's up guys, Steven here. Today I'm gonna watch the UFC 217 extended preview Bisping versus St-Pierre, which also has Cody Garbrandt versus TJ Dillashaw and Joanna Jędrzejczyk versus Rose Namajunas. So let's watch.
George St-Pierre, one of the most diverse fighters in the history of St-Pierre. Someone throws him down. We got ourselves a fight, ladies and gentlemen. For the winner. And 19th career win. He is the all-time best in UFC history.
Listen everyone, it was a lot of talk about what's going to happen. I need to hang up my glove for a little bit.
George Rush St-Pierre, the winningest fighter in UFC history.
GSP is back. He is returning to the octagon, UFC 217 at Madison Square Garden. George St-Pierre, how are you today?
Doing fantastic, thank you.
You've been gone for 4 years. You have Michael Bisping on a huge night for UFC. Why now?
It's the right timing, and I wanted my comeback fight to be epic. So that's why I'm aiming for the biggest fish, so to speak, to fight.
George, you think you're gonna come back, step up a weight class and take my belt? You're out of your goddamn mind.
I love Michael Bisping.
I know I'm the best I've ever been. I come back not because it's easy, I come back because it's hard.
I've been fighting the best. Anderson Silva, Dan Henderson, Lou Rocco, finishing them all, winning fights. You've been sat in your ass for that. Call.
After a decade in the UFC, always in shape and rarely out of commission, Bisping racked up victories and octagon time, finishing 21 of his 31 wins.
Michael, the Count Bisping, is back home.
Really excited to see Michael Bisping get this fight that he's been so determined to get throughout his whole career. He's been chasing Anderson Silva down all the way in the octagon in London at the O2 Arena.
The Ultimate Fighter Season 3 winner finally got the watershed win he sought when he defeated all-time great Anderson Silva in February 2016.
I saw that fight live. It was an amazing fight.
Michael's pouring on the pressure.
Bisping revs up his efforts towards the final bell. The winner, Michael Bisping!
The victory put Bisping on the short list of athletes qualified to face new middleweight champion Luke Rockhold that spring, when an opponent pulled out 17 days before the title fight.
Not a single person in the world I would rather take the belt off than this smug motherfucker right here.
He's got confidence, he's got momentum, and he's got the opportunity that he's been campaigning for a long time.
Having lost to Rockhold in their previous meeting, Bisping entered the octagon as a +400 underdog.
Oh, he heard a rush. He heard a bad. He heard a bad.
I saw that fight live too.
Bisping is the new UFC middleweight champion of the world!
Bisping gleefully shocked the world by knocking in the Rockhold and securing the title that he long believed would be his. If Bisping's road to gold made him an unlikely champion,
He is the all-time best in UFC history.
St-Pierre's dominance in the role makes him an even unlikelier challenger. For most of 7 years, the welterweight title belonged to one man, as George St-Pierre turned back the best of his generation.
He wants to be the man that brought MMA to a different level.
With calculated game plans that made it look maddeningly easy, he mowed down the field and became one of the UFC's true superstars.
George St-Pierre represents the very best aspects of martial arts.
In 2013, after his 12th straight win, St-Pierre left the octagon on his own terms.
Are you retiring right now? Is that what you're saying? I have to go away for a little bit at least.
Now fully reinvigorated and confident in the power he's developed at 185 pounds, one of the UFC's best ever seeks to re-enter competition and re-establish himself as champion.
I've had the welterweight title before. Now I'm fighting for the middleweight title of the UFC.
You're gonna be looking up at the stars thinking, what the fuck am I doing?
I look better than I ever been. I feel better than I ever been. And I'm more hungry than I ever been.
George St-Pierre is back!
Make no mistake, November 4th, I'm going to knock you out.
Bad blood may be newly brewing between the champion and Georges St-Pierre, but in UFC 217's co-main event, it's boiling over.
Finally. Been waiting so long for this.
Bantamweight champion Cody Garbrandt and former champion TJ Dillashaw enter their tactical matchup as ex-teammates with a score
I have to
to
know
settle.
what to use.
The reason why I took it to heart was we were defending him on Ultimate Fighter when Faber was coaching against McGregor.
Ah, there's a little snake in the grass right there. You're right, built him up. Dwayne comes in, takes over, and then takes the champion. No, I'm surrendering. You pretend you're still there. You ain't still there.
I confronted TJ about, is he with us in Team Alpha? And he's like, yeah, we are. So he straight lied to my face. I get in a fight with Connor.
But do something then. Do something then. Do something then, Bill.
Comes full circle a couple weeks later, proceeds on that he's actually left. He got a house out there. So it's like, slap in my face. Scary little.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm shaking, bro.
A couple years later, we're coaching against each other in Ultimate Fighter.
He's hurt! You win this! Come on!
I think it all leads down to just insecurity. Cody's not very smart. He doesn't have anything that he can say that's winning. And he feels like he needs to create drama to be important.
What the f*** is gonna do? I'll grab you by your
Whip your ass.
You know, I trained a lot with him. I helped him out a lot. He helped me out a lot. You know, and I thought we were cool. And now to hate me because I like Dwayne is pretty crazy.
Knock you the f*** out.
Yeah, right.
Yes, I.
Trust me, you better hope.
I find it hilarious. I'm just gonna smile at the guy and I'm gonna punish him the night we fight.
What a combination! What a finish! Oh, Cody Garbrandt by knockout!
I went from unranked to world champion in the same calendar year.
TJ doesn't bother me. Mac Truck doesn't worry about a pebble. TJ Dillashaw, come try.
In the pantheon of dominant champions, one 115-pound woman holds her own against names like Georges St-Pierre, Anderson Silva, and Ronda Rousey. At UFC 217, strawweight queen Joanna Jędrzejczyk looks to continue her ruthless championship reign and break Ronda Rousey's record for most championship wins in a women's division.
Her entire life revolves around this belt defending it.
That is enough. Joanna Jędrzejczyk has delivered the Polish power.
I travel every day. I challenge myself every day.
And again. And again.
They can stop this fight.
And
And it does. To be a multiple-time world Muay Thai champion, and then to take those elite high-level striking skills to dominate in MMA the way she has, you have to have a very special mind.
big connection.
Just constant punishment by Jędrzejczyk.
There's only one strawweight champion of the world, and it's me, Joanna Jędrzejczyk from Poland. Remember that no one is taking this belt from me. No one.
But standing in the way of Joanna's history-making dream is the ferocious Rose Namajunas. Rose has reinvented herself since challenging in the promotion's first-ever strawweight title fight, and is determined not to let that belt escape her again.
There's the tap! The Rose Namajunas! With arguably the biggest win of her life!
I feel like I can go all the way to the belt and hold it for a while. So, Joanna, I'm coming for you. Be careful.
Rose Namajunas finishes the job in a main event for the ages. What a fight!
She has done such a good job of reinventing her game, even though she's young in her career, but her striking and footwork now, she has the ability to control a fight.
Beautiful takedown by Rose off of the punch.
The highest takedown accuracy in the history of this division.
She's got a lot of skill, a lot of momentum, and she is incredibly focused right now.
As the fights draw near, each athlete's mission becomes clearer, and their preparations perfected. In the 3 world title fights at UFC 217, champions will be crowned, legacies will be rewritten,
Joanna is going
and
to have to
history
do
will be
a
made.
lot of takedown defense training. So, here are my thoughts. Since the video is over, Joanna will have to do a lot of takedown defense. Get to the standing positioning back if she's been taken down as fast as possible. Also defending any submission attempts and making sure Rose doesn't take her back or doesn't get the full mount to avoid the ground and pound and submissions. If the fight stays standing, I believe Joanna will outstrike her because it's Joanna. If it goes to the ground and it stays on the ground, I think Rose has a real advantage, just like Claudia Gadelha had, but Joanna was always able to get back up real fast. I do believe that unlike Claudia Gadelha in her last fight against Joanna, Rose has a better conditioning. She won't gas out. At least that's what I think. Could be wrong. But yeah, I can see the fight go either way, but I hope it's Joanna. For Cody Garbrandt versus TJ Dillashaw. Man, that's going to be an epic fight. That's all I can say. TJ says he will knock out Cody. I don't think he will. But if there's one guy who's going to be able to knock someone out, it's Cody. TJ has barely knocked anyone out. TKOs are not the same as knockouts. Cody has way more knockouts in his game. He destroyed his last opponent. We all know who he was. Dominic the Dominator Cruz. That was a real entertaining fight. Pure 25 minutes of pure awesomeness, technical and real fighting skills were deployed in that fight. It was awesome to watch. I hope on one hand TJ gets the win, but I think it will be Cody. When I think about it, I think Cody will get the job done because he has this way to use his anger like he did with Dominic Cruz. And in the ring, he was all focused. He used all his momentum, his anger issues, all the trash talk. He used everything. He composed himself. He made himself focus, and he went for the knockouts. And he got the win. I think he's gonna do the same thing with TJ. The difference now, TJ is smaller than Cody, while Dominic was about the same size, if not bigger than Cody. So yeah, we'll see. As for Michael Bisping versus George St-Pierre, George or GSP, I've not seen many fights of him because he left the UFC before I got into the UFC. And when I say I got into the UFC, I do not mean I was actually in the UFC. I'm saying before I started watching UFC. But I do have faith in Bisping. And if Bisping gets the job done, it's another nice addition to his legacy. Who knows, maybe then they will place Bisping against McGregor or something, which would be stupid. Yeah, that's what I think. Now, there will be other awesome fights on that card. I'm just gonna buy the pay-per-view the day of the event itself, because in my experience, each time I buy a pay-per-view, fights get cancelled. They always do, but it's usually the fights that I want to see the most that get cancelled, and then it's more or less a waste that I spent the money on it because I wanted to see 2 or 3 fights in particular, and then one fight gets cancelled. So yeah, but I'm gonna do like I did last time. I'm gonna wait till the day itself and then buy it. Definitely gonna watch because I'm not working that day. So yeah, let me guys know what you think. If you have any opinions, let me know. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up. If you did not, hit the thumbs down. Either way, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.